I was house sitting for my grandma one weekend while she went to Florida with her church friends. I was sleeping in the guest bedroom next to hers. The guest room always had two twin beds, where my brother and I would sleep during sleepovers at her house. I took the bed next to the window, but before getting in, I checked all the doors to make sure they were locked. It was still early, and I didn't actually fall asleep for a while. There wasn't much to do at my grandma's place. I spent an hour or two on my phone, watching videos and texting people. That's when I started to hear a voice outside. It sounded like a woman saying hello. I left the bedroom and slowly moved toward the front door, trying to listen carefully. The voice repeated hello every 10 seconds. And it seemed to be coming from the front door. My grandma's door doesn't have a peephole, but the dining room windows provide a clear view of the porch. I peeked through the blinds without making it obvious, but she must have noticed. I saw a woman standing on the stoop, looking directly at me, as if she knew I would be looking. She smiled, and again, she said hello. She was older, maybe late 50s or early 60s, but something about her was unsettling. I moved away from the window, wondering if she was one of my grandma's friends. But why would she be at the door at midnight? And why wouldn't she knock or ring the bell? I felt uneasy. I went back to the guest bedroom and shut the door. With the door closed, I couldn't hear the woman anymore. Or maybe she had left. I texted my sisters and friends, telling them about the bizarre encounter. They told me to call my grandma, but she was likely asleep and rarely checked her phone. Suddenly, the silence was broken by banging on the window. Not tapping, but banging. My heart pounded as I heard that voice again, saying hello. Fueled by adrenaline, I pushed up the blinds, and there she was, her unsettling smile inches away, separated only by a thin layer of glass. I yelled, "I'm calling the cops!" and slammed the blinds down. I rushed upstairs to the guest room, locking myself in. I didn't want to call the police. I don't know why. I just wanted to wait it out. Hours later, I went downstairs to check, and she was gone. The next morning, I called my grandma and told her what happened. She panicked, yelling into the phone. A few days earlier, she had been watched at the grocery store by a woman who just kept smiling at her. I didn't know if it was the same person, but the way my grandma described it gave me chills. She's 75 and sometimes forgets things, so I wasn't sure if I should connect the two incidents. But I couldn't shake the feeling that it was the same person. My name is Nicholas, and I'm a freshman at Syracuse University, which isn't exactly the safest area. I recently broke up with my first girlfriend, so I started using online dating apps again. I matched with a blonde girl named Stephanie on Hinge, and we hit it off. She also went to Syracuse, liked to read, and had the same sense of humor. I suggested a movie date, and she agreed. She told me to meet her near campus, and she'd pick me up. Around 9 p.m., I waited on a corner, sharing my location with her. A car approached and stopped. But it wasn't Stephanie, it was an older man. He asked what I was doing out there alone, which was creepy. When I said I was waiting for someone, he asked if it was Stephanie. I said yes, and he claimed to be her father, offering me a ride. He seemed too old to be her dad, and the whole situation felt wrong. I asked, "Why didn't you tell me you'd be picking me up?" He said he wanted to meet me first because he didn't trust random guys meeting his daughter. I wasn't buying it. I started walking away. He shouted after me, but I ignored him. His car didn't follow, and I was relieved when he drove off. But when I reached the next block, I saw his car again, parked with the lights off. I kept my distance. I got a text from Stephanie asking, "Why didn't you get in the car with my dad?" I ignored it and kept moving. I made it back to campus, but I felt like I was being followed. When I heard footsteps and the sound of glass being kicked, I knew someone was behind me. I ducked behind a van and saw that same old man creeping around, calling out, "Come back and I'll take you to her." He was in his 60s. There was no way he'd catch me if I ran. I sprinted back to my dorm, safe but shaken. When I got back, I received another message from him. "You're lucky you got away. I would have strangled you." I still have the screenshots and plan to report it to the police. When I was 18, I worked as a part-time janitor at my high school over the summer, sometimes alone at night. One evening, my supervisor, Tom, left early, leaving me to lock up. I was supposed to bring extra chairs from the gym to the basement storage. The basement was dim and creepy, filled with art mannequins covered by cloths. After my first trip, I noticed one of the mannequins was uncovered. I was sure it was covered minutes earlier. I texted Tom, telling him someone might be in the basement. He said no one else should be there and told me to check it out. I spotted the cloth tucked in the corner and noticed it was slightly moving. Someone was definitely hiding under it. I ran upstairs and locked the basement door. I didn't want to call the cops. I just wanted Tom to come back, but he told me to be a man and handle it. When I went back down, the cloth was on the floor and the person was gone. Suddenly, I heard loud metallic thumps coming from the air vent above me. Someone was crawling through the vent, banging as if trying to break out. I had enough. I locked up and left. It was my last week on the job, and I was relieved it wasn't my problem anymore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these chilling stories, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the next spooky adventure. And hey, do you have a scary story? Something that gave you chills or kept you up at night? Drop it in the comments or send it our way. Who knows, your story might just be the next one we bring to life. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.